There's nothing passive about passive income because it takes so much work to get there. A lot of times you're doing so much work in the upfront to reap the benefits later.
Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the ex-agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the Duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips.
Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 152, and today we are digging into our income streams and how you can explore some new income streams for your business this year. So we thought this was a really interesting topic, especially for the new year, as people are kind of like rethinking their services or maybe changing things up for their business on, how you bring in income. This is something that has taken a while for us to build. I feel like we're always learning. But we started off with just one-on-one work for clients back in the day, right when we kicked this off. And that was our only income stream. That's all we had was just our client work because obviously you're brand new. So that's kind of the easiest place to start. But as you continue to grow, you obviously want to be more strategic about it. You want to look at where your higher income is coming. Maybe you have something that you're offering that doesn't hardly bring any income in, so you want to get rid of that. So really, we're just going to dive into how to create these income streams,
if it's right for
you, and why these matter, essentially, and like what you can do to either build on them or maybe eliminate some that aren't working for you.
Yeah. So let's talk first about why it matters. I think obviously what is the thing that everyone talks about that's so sexy is to make money while you sleep, right? Everyone is out there searching for passive income.
But it's hard.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's passive income. I mean, I would kind of argue that there's nothing passive about passive income because it takes so much work to get there. And a lot of times you're doing so much work in the upfront to reap the benefits later. And it doesn't always mean that it's going to take off either. So I think passive income is something that people are always searching for. And I would almost I guess the whole goal with this episode is switch your mindset into thinking about passive income and start thinking now about how to diversify your income. Because there's so many different ways you can diversify your income to create consistency and stability in your business without it being passive.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't all need to be passive.
Yeah.
You could have a part of your business as passive income, but then a part of it could be one-on-one, or a part of it could be other things that you're selling, courses or small offerings here and there that aren't large, but they're still passive income. You're still making money while you sleep because you built this thing and put it out there, but you don't have to. I think people are looking for just how do I make money while I sleep, and that's all I do. I just want the passive income, and that is really, really hard to achieve. Yeah. There's probably not a lot of people out there that just have something that works for passive income, and they just go to sleep and wake up and do nothing.
Yeah, no, and I'm sorry, I don't think passive income doesn't exist. I don't know. I think it's such a buzzword.
It is.
All of the people out there that you look at who you think have passive income and are making money without doing anything, they're not doing anything. They're working, they're creating content, they're attracting new audiences, they're marketing, they're
running a team.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff, and it might look sexy on the outside
because that's usually how they make it.
How it's marketed.
Yes.
It's marketed do this one thing and make, 6-figure years or 6-figure months or whatever it may be. And so I think we are chasing this dream, or sometimes we're kind of forced into or seeing things on social media that there's this dream out there that these people are making this money without doing anything. And
that's not true.
It's not true. It takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Even things right now too, I feel like I even hear this from my sister of oh my gosh, this Amazon influencer, is making 6 figures just by reviewing products.
Right.
And it's like,
and you're like, wow, that sounds so easy. Like, maybe I should quit my job and do that.
But I guarantee you, if you talk, like almost everyone you talk to who is making a lot of money and running a solid business, they're still putting in a huge chunk of work.
Yes.
You
don't see it.
You don't see that. It's behind the scenes.
And that's not what they talk about, which is kind of sad.
It is
I
sad.
feel like it'd be nice to have people out there that are a little bit more like authentic about that.
Especially
and
in that world of influencing marketing, when people are trying to get you to join, you know, their teams or get you to be an influencer or whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, I think overall our focus today is not to have like sit here and be like all the passive income ideas we can think of to help you grow your business. I want you to think of diversifying your income and how can you have different revenue streams, regardless of how small they are, to create that consistency. And we'll talk about how some of our smaller revenue streams have really created consistency for us and allowed us to invest in things that we otherwise wouldn't have felt comfortable investing in.
Exactly.
So let's talk first about why diversifying matters. So the biggest thing is it's going to reduce your reliance on a single stream of income to make money. So let's talk about like slow seasons. If you have slow seasons and you're a client-based business and you work in a service industry, like
that's hard.
It's detrimental.
Yeah.
So that's something that you want to make sure that you are not just sucked into that being your only source of income.
Because then you feel like in order to sign clients or in order to not be in this slow season, you almost have to discount your services, which you shouldn't be doing either. You shouldn't be doing discounts during slow seasons just to get somebody to sign on and work with you, because that's not a healthy form of stream income either, because you shouldn't be doing that just to become busy.
Yeah. You're going to have a little bit more stability to make some new investments in your business because you know that one of these streams is bringing you more consistent money. So that's one of the benefits of having like the stable, consistent stream of income, even if it isn't making the ends meet from like a budget perspective of what you need to make for revenue.
It helps increase your scalability, especially as a service provider. So if you have these streams of income that are coming in that are keeping your wallet nice and padded, or even just a little bit, you know that you have that income coming in, then you have this time and space to increase your scalability within these, whether it is a product that you're selling or a course that you're selling, you can take more time to make it better, or you can find another way to bring in another stream of income. So it really allows you to continually scale in your business.
Yep. It keeps your creative fire lit. So many of these like little tiny streams of income have been driven by passion. And they're things that we really wanted to do because there was something about that stream that just lit us up inside. And so that's how it became a success, I would say. And if you focus on that, if you focus on doing the things that light you up, it's going to make such a difference in keeping that like joy in your business.
The next thing, it can help attract new audiences. So people want to work with you in different ways. Some people want to be educated. Some people want to be educated by you. So what's that? Coaching. Some people want to be educated by taking a course. So there you go. There's a course. Some people want to be educated by downloading a PDF. So they purchase a small PDF that you have and they teach themselves and learn that way. Some people want to work with you one-on-one. So you're going to attract different audiences for these different stream incomes based on how they want to learn or how they want to, scale their business. Let's say you have resources on that. They want to learn differently, and that allows you to reach mass audiences and different people within your ecosystem, obviously. But people like to learn or be educated in different ways. And so this is very much a service provider thing, but it really allows you to make your net a little bit larger.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd say too, like if you create, we're going to talk about some different income streams for us, but if you focus on just the same thing over and over again, like if we just continue to talk about branding packages and SEO packages and we never talked about anything else, once you've worked with us, you might never work with us again because you've already been there, done that. But if we're continuing to share different things or different ways to work with us or educating on different things, you're going to come in through that funnel. Or say, for example, someone has no idea what SEO is, but we did a paid webinar about how to make keywords easy, and they've heard about keywords, and so now they just joined that. And so you're going to attract different people by creating these different things that people are searching for. So this is almost like an SEO thing, but it's just by creating and diversifying your offerings and what you're doing, that's going to attract different people that might have never looked at you in the first place.
And at different levels too, I would say. Sometimes people maybe don't want to learn all of SEO, which you should, but like they're like, I just need to take this really small and like bite-sized at a time, but I want to join this webinar just on keywords because I want to learn more about keywords. So they're not learning about all SEO, right? They're learning about a piece of it. So sometimes it's even just like different levels of what you do and how you can educate and bring people in at those different levels too, because they're at different phases within their business. And sometimes they, take bite-sized pieces here and there versus the whole thing. So if you break it down into those different levels, you're going to attract new people too, based on where they are.
And say, I'll give you another example from like a non-service providing standpoint of like for a product business. Say you sell skincare, body care products, and you notice that a couple of your buyers have been spas. And so all of a sudden you realize that there's this whole market of like spas who need to bring in a new line of products, and you've never thought about diversifying to target spas and buying your products. So this is something where you can create like a whole new wholesale opportunity that's targeted just towards spas and experiences like that. So it kind of gives you this idea, like looking at who is in your inner circle and understanding like what other offerings or what other things could I create that would complement what's already working and help diversify my revenue.
And the last one we want to touch on is just that this helps grow your confidence. So the more stable you are in your revenue, the more likely you are to take some risks. So you're feeling a little bit more confident, you've got this stable income coming through, channels X, Y, and Z, and you really want to try this new thing within your business, or you want to create a course, or you want to find a new revenue stream. You are more comfortable to take those risks because you have these other ones that are working really well for you. So you're not constantly chasing something. You're not constantly trying to build something because you have things built and making you money. So now you're able to build bigger, scarier things or do bigger, scarier things because you feel more confident and that you can actually do that without sacrificing a lot, or without, if it doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, or it is a little bit of a fail, which is fine. We've been there. Then you still know you have those other things to lean back on.
All right, so let's jump into this and just break down our income streams and talk through some of the things that have grown for us over the last 5 years. Keyword, over the last 5 years, not something that happened overnight and not something we started our business with. So the first is one-on-one services. I mean, this is still more than 75% of our total revenue. So we're talking one-on-one SEO projects, one-on-one branding projects, other miscellaneous projects from collateral to coaching to things like that. 75% is a huge chunk, and it's one of the reasons why we are choosing to grow in 2025 as more of an agency model. But also, if you think about this, there's still 25% of our income that is coming from other sources.
Which is a quarter of our business, which is pretty incredible.
It's a lot. So, and again, this didn't happen overnight, but these help create consistency and stability in our business, and that has been huge for us.
Yeah. Our second one is our SEO on Tap course, which you've probably heard of. We talk about a lot. This has been something that we've poured a lot of love, energy, time, resources at. So again, it wasn't just something that we dreamt up and we made really quick and we put out in the world.
I wish.
Yeah, I know. We put a lot of effort towards this. And this was one of the first things that we created as, I think it might have been our first extra stream income. thing that we did outside of one-on-one services because we knew we wanted to do this. So if you tune into episode 112, we kind of break down the things that made our course launch a success, because again, you can't just build it and people come. You need to market it. You need to add to it. You need to build your community, get the people in that are looking for this. You have to know who wants this. So really, it's a beautiful source of income, but it is something that takes a lot of time and energy, and you have to keep nurturing it as well as the audience that is in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It might feel like passive income, but it absolutely is not.
No, it is a lot of work and nurturing and caring for.
A lot. But as of the last year, since we rebranded it and relaunched our course, it has been a significant source of revenue for that 25% extra, basically. And it's been able to make a lot of really amazing things happen for our business so that we can invest in things that we really wanted to invest in or needed to get off our plate.
Yes, absolutely.
The next one is our SEO membership. So if you don't know, this is a membership that we have for people who would like to provide SEO services to their clients. So we're talking web designers, copywriters, marketers, other agency owners, people who want to do what we do. We are like truly a no competition space over here. I would love to teach you all my ways. But we used to have a group coaching program specifically for web designers and copywriters because we had an enormous amount of clients come to us who were unhappy with their experience, not because their website didn't look beautiful or because their copy wasn't phenomenal. It was doing what they paid for. However, the web designer or the copywriter just didn't know SEO. And so because of that, their inquiries or their sales just tanked. And it's so sad because it's not the web designer or copywriter's fault. They don't know what they don't know. And so we really just wanted to create this program to educate copywriters and web designers and other SEO providers on what to do to create this really great experience when you're launching a website, because that impacts your referral rate, that impacts your reviews, it impacts everything. So we had this group coaching program, and since we've redone SEO on Tap, we have funneled our group coaching, like web designers, copywriters, everyone through SEO on Tap. And what we've done is created a continued membership for service providers who are offering SEO. So this membership, the prereq is that you have to have learned from us. So you have to have either gone through the course or done like coaching or a one-on-one service with us. And then it's basically like kind of invite only, application only for this membership. And then you can join us inside the membership where you have me in your back pocket. If a client literally asks you an SEO question and you don't know the answer, you can ask me and then you can spell it back to them, like literally in your back pocket to help you feel confident to execute SEO things. So if you get stuck on keyword research, if you get stuck optimizing things, if you're stuck and you don't know why their website isn't showing up, we can do that all together within this community. And we also meet once a month. So I love this. It's like my little baby of people who we just work really closely together. It's an amazing community and everyone's so uplifting. We have people all over the world in here. We have someone from Australia inside. And it's so fun, like to see the mix of people all supporting each other. And I can't wait to continue growing this. And it's a nice little piece of stable income for us too.
Yes. Another one of our income streams is paid webinars. And I would say this last year, we've probably done the most paid webinars that we've done since Duo's been born. And they're actually kind of fun. They are, it's a form of income that is a little bit easier to achieve. If you, we'll be honest, we had a slow month and we were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? So we did a paid webinar. It was really successful. So it's kind of one of those things that you can have, you build it and it's there and you put some marketing towards it. Or if you do foresee or you're forecasting a slower month, doing paid webinars is a really good way to kind of get some of that extra income. We
talked about that too on the podcast about tips for surviving a slow season. So definitely go check that one out. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. So we were like, oh my gosh, we have to do something. So we did a paid webinar, maybe even 2. I think we did that month. And they're really fun because, again, they're a community thing. So you're bringing people in, you're getting people excited to learn something. You're educating them on something that they need help with. You're solving a problem. And it's something that you already know these things. You're already creating this content. You're already teaching these things. And so why not take that and turn it into a paid education session for people who are following you and for people who need these answers or need what you're offering. So it can be pretty easy to put these together once they're built, and once you kind of have gotten into doing paid webinars, it just gets easier and easier, and kind of fun just to like see who comes on and all of that stuff. And obviously you're getting them to pay you for these webinars, but sometimes if you have a bigger launch or something really big coming up at the end, you can pitch that. Abby and I, we hate being salespeople. It's like just hard for us because if we could, we'd give everything away, but we can't. So, if you have something big, pitch it at the end. Abby and I always get a little nervous when we do pitch something bigger at the end. We're like, oh gosh, okay, we're going to watch all these people just plummet and drop off. But that's not the case. There's actually, people are very invested in these things. You've given them some education or something valuable during your webinar, and then you can upsell them at the end of that webinar. And some people do convert. So it's always worth a shot. But obviously trying not to be too salesy in those because they have paid to be there on that webinar at that time. So you have to be giving them something. You can't be selling to them the whole time.
Yeah, we're hoping to sprinkle more of those in 2025 because we truly do love educating people and being able to work with you one-on-one. So stay tuned. And then I'd say the last 3 are smaller portions of that 25%, but still bring in revenue consistently. So digital products being one of them. We used to have a shop. We kind of took that down or paused it just because it was more work than it was profitable.
RIP for now.
Or maybe mentally more work than it was profitable.
Yeah. We launched it a little too quick, I think. We weren't warming up our audience to it. So that was a little bit, that was our fault and our problem. But we were just so excited about it. It was kind of a passion project, and we didn't really think through warming up our audience.
Find Me on Google sweatshirt will forever be my favorite, and we do have to bring that back in t-shirt form, I think. It's coming. But we do have some digital products that we create. Right now we have an AI workbook that is every month I'll randomly get a couple sales, and it's just kind of fun. And this was a product that we actually created for a speaking event. So we repurposed it and obviously revised it to make sure it was relevant for our community and audience that we were attracting. But at the end of the day, it wasn't that much rework because we already had to create it anyways. We just wanted to offer it. So that's also something to keep in mind with your additional revenue sources, is it might be something you already have. It's not going to actually take that much more work for you. Another one is affiliate partnerships. So this is something that we want to work on in the new year, is just being better partners with our affiliates and promoting their products and services because we use them for a reason. We've used a lot of these since we've started Duo, and they're amazing. So we not only want you to have these amazing tools and programs, but we also want to give you a deal. So it's like a win-win for everybody. So that's going to be a huge focus of ours in 2025, is really being good partners with these affiliates that we have, and also giving you deals and teaching you how to use these tools as well, because they're what help make our business run smoothly and efficiently. Absolutely. And finally speaking, so this has been a little bit more in 2024 for us than it was any other year because we did a lot of speaking for free in the past, and we are finally kind of charging our worth when it comes to this. So this is something that we do online, and we also do it traveling to conferences and stuff like that. We're taking, I would say, a little bit of a step back in 2025 because we felt kind of burnt out in 2024. But at the end of the day, this is something where if we are going to do it, it needs to feel absolutely right. It needs to align with our audience, and we need to be paid what we're worth. And I think that's something to remember too, is that you can add, the worst thing someone can say if you ask to be paid is no. No. And then you're right back to where you were.
And you're already preparing for a no anyways, because I think us as humans are always just what if they say no?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. Those are all of our income streams right now. And again, a huge percentage of that being one-on-one services, but 25% being from other sources. And the amazing thing is that a lot of that, I would say, the course has consistency seasonally because we have launch periods. The membership is consistently monthly. So that is really nice. And then the other things are just kind of dropped in when we support them. So it is really nice to have consistency, and that's why we really like having that annual planning meeting and planning things out and knowing like what are we going to support by quarter so that we can kind of think about those additional revenue sources from that perspective. Yeah.
So now we want to talk about how you can create new income streams kind of based off of what we've done in the past and just some of the learnings that we've had. So the first one is starting small, which we've kind of already talked about, but you don't need to overhaul your business to add an income stream. So start with something that complements your existing work, or if you've created something for an event that you did, or something for a client that really resonated with them. If you have something small already, use that or leverage that, or start with something small. If it hasn't been created, create something small. So, creating group coaching or a low-cost digital product, if those are something that are easy for you to grab or that you've already kind of dabbled in, start there. Don't start with a huge, massive course. If that's something that is on your list to do, we would say start smaller because, first of all, you want to warm up your audience. Second of all, courses are a heck of a lot of work. And some of these other forms of income they're a lot of work and they're a lot of nurturing and it's a lot of warming up your audience. So you want to make sure that you do it right the first time because nobody wants to have a course built and then just like a flop of a launch like that. It's not to say that your course is bad. You might have just jumped into it a little bit too soon. So we really urge people to start small and then just continually grow and add on to those different income pillars as the smaller ones start working for you.
Yeah. And one thing that we did too when we first launched group coaching, so speaking back to reaching that audience of like realizing like, wow, we have a lot of clients who've worked with web designers and copywriters that haven't executed for them. And so we had this idea, but it didn't come from our audience. It came from our clients.
Yes.
And so we weren't really sure how it was going to perform. And so we launched it before we built the content. So group coaching was actually live. So every week before I met with the group coaching students, I built out the slides. Week by week. Like it would be great to have it all prepped in advance, but it was also really good to know that people have already paid for it, signed up for it, and we could give them a questionnaire before they jumped in to manage their expectations. So that's really nice too when you launch something before it's even done. Like everyone likes to see the money to motivate their creation process.
Right, exactly. It keeps you going.
Yeah. So I'd also say start with what you know, start with what feels natural. Courses are the sexy passive income everyone talks about, but like Court said, they are a lot of freaking work and they aren't passive.
No, passive.
I'm sorry. Nothing about our course feels passive. Maybe like launches get easier and easier, but there's still work. We're still doing live Q&As. We're still engaging with our community. We are updating modules. We are
adding modules.
Yes.
Like we're going to keep making this thing better and better. And we're going to keep nurturing the audience that is within this course.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and taking care of them and still educating them. So it is an ongoing process. And then when we do these launches, it's about marketing around that and still talking about it. You can't just throw something out there and then stop talking about it because it needs you to still do work in order to sell. So, they're a beast and they're a lot of work and they're definitely not passive. I think I remember my husband, I told Abby this too. I can't remember the exact words he said, but he's like, look, you're making money and you're not doing anything. Or he's like, and you didn't do anything. And I was like, excuse me?
What? We've been working on
do you know how much?
12 months.
Yeah. Do you know how much we actually did? Like, this is not just free money, honey.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be just lovely?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say too, if education is new to you, and course is like where you want to go, sprinkle in a few of those paid webinars, because that can be a really fun way to dip your toe into educating to more than one person and making some money at the same time. So we use Webinar Jam, and we love it because it ties with EverWebinar, and that allows you to monetize your webinar after you're done. So after you've done a live webinar, you can still continue to sell the recorded webinar potentially for a more discounted rate. And it can be dynamically placed throughout the days you want it to go live. So it's a really, really awesome system, and it can be a great way to dip your toes into online education if that's a new space for you.
Mm-hmm. The next thing is to be sure to think about scalability. So making sure that you know the importance of creating passive, semi-passive income options like these digital products or memberships, but how can things like this scale? Or once you have these smaller ones created and working for you, what are those bigger ones that you can start tapping into to create and then to scale? So it's really knowing the different levels of quote unquote passive income that you want and scaling them. So making them larger and larger, or making sure that, if somebody comes in at this one income level, can you upsell them to this next income level? So just thinking about that scalability and kind of mapping that out almost too, because once you have smaller ones that are working for you, what is that next one? Like, what is the next bigger thing that can make you a little bit more money?
Yeah. And one thing we've noticed too is we like for affiliate income, we make a few $1,000s a year, like nothing crazy. But we don't talk about it at all.
No.
At all. 0%.
And we're kind of like, what would happen if we talked about it?
Yeah. So that's why it's one of our focuses for 2025. But it's also something that is, as you think about scalability, you need to think about your marketing plan of like, okay, what are the income sources I'm focused on, and how am I going to support that growth? Like, how are we going to see the growth, and when are you going to talk about it? Because you can't scale something without talking about it.
No, not very good. Anyways, not to your best potential. Yeah, for sure.
And then finally, just start with something you love. Start with something that's going to fire you up inside. But I also just really make sure that first you have people to talk to. So if you're sitting here with one income stream, but you have a really low audience, so say you're just getting started, you make all of your business right now on one-to-one service offerings, and you have a small audience on Instagram and you haven't started your email list yet. I want you to focus on growing your audience. That is where you should focus first before you start diversifying your revenue streams. Because when you diversify revenue, you need to have people to talk to, or else you'll create all of this stuff. And it doesn't mean they are bad things. It just means that no one is there to hear it, So really focus on your audience growth first before diversifying your revenue streams.
So we just want to preface that this did not happen for us overnight. And we've kind of sprinkled that through here. We've worked hard. We've worked long. We've thought through these things. We've warmed up the majority of our audiences when we've done things. And the first few years of our business, we were only one-on-one with clients. We didn't have any of these forms of, or these other streams of income. These have come to us as we continue to grow and we learn our audience and what they want and what we know will work as far as selling digital products or courses or coaching or whatever it might be. We had to do the one-on-one for a few years in order to get to where we are today to have these other streams of income.
Yeah, we were growing our audience. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then slowly over time, we added shop, we added digital products in, and again, focusing on things that we already had created or things we were already good at. And then other things just being inspired by the one-on-one work. So we group coaching was derived from our client work. Certain audiences we reached out to because of the work that we were doing. So just kind of reviewing that. So what are we focusing on for 2025? We're adding 10 new revenue streams.
Oh, geez.
I'm just kidding. No, I would say there isn't I don't even know. I'm sure there's other revenue streams. We could sell a book. I don't know. But There, right.
The duo.
I'm like, I'm again not about to be a whole list of passive income ideas, but I do think that we are going to focus on refining some of these, and
yes.
I think we're just really leaning in on some of that. So the first one is simplicity. So I've already talked a bit about group coaching and how that's kind of sort of going away or just being folded into SEO on Tap, and making sure that there's a personalized experience throughout that then leads you into the membership. So really just creating that simplicity, because at the end of the day, the programs were very, very similar, and it doesn't make sense from an efficiency standpoint to do that.
Yeah. The other thing is affiliates. I kind of talked about this earlier, but we love sharing tools with you that we love to work in, and we want to do more of this and working with our partners, and then obviously getting you better deals on these tools too. So we really want to lean in on the partnership with our affiliates while also providing you great tools at a discounted rate.
Yeah. And also I encourage you guys to do this too. Like even if your tool that you love to work on, or you have a partner you love to work with, if they don't have a program, reach out to them. Like make the connection, because this is like community-led marketing, and it can be really, really powerful because people buy from people. So we love educating. Like obviously if you're here listening to the podcast, you know that, and we want to find more opportunities to educate. I would say we are leaning away from speaking in the new year just because of the amount of work it takes, but we love doing paid webinars. So we want to sprinkle more of those opportunities in and educating more of the masses in that way.
I would say, we're going to show up more in the digital space for education versus IRL in real life. It's a lot of work and traveling, and we have little kids. It just gets to be tough sometimes. So we're taking a break from speaking in 2025, and we're just going to evaluate.
You're like located on a tropical beach
and want to pay for the whole thing.
I'll go to the beach.
Then sign us up. But if you're like Canada, no, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
And then if you haven't tuned in yet, tune into episode 147, because we talked a lot about how we're growing in more of an agency model this year. So this means that one-on-one services are going to continue to be our biggest bucket, and we're leaning into that more than we probably ever have before, because we want to set up efficiencies with our team. We want to create continue to create a really amazing client experience. We've also, what I think is so crazy is we've had this team in place for so long. It's not new, but it's just new to everyone listening.
Yeah. And I think we're still working through how to work as a team, because it is all, they're all fairly new-ish, but I think we're still working through kinks of what's working, what's not, how much do we offload, how much do we take on, how many more clients can we take now that we have a team. It's figuring out all of that as we start to get in place with that. So I think 2025 is going to be a big year for us as far as that goes.
And I'd also like to say too, we aren't stepping away. So I don't want people to hear this and be like, oh, all of a sudden I'm working with someone else rather than the duo. Right now in this phase of business, and I don't know if this will be the case for, the next 3 to 5 years, but we are still involved in these client projects. You are still working with us in connection with our team. So
the duo touches and sees everything that goes out the door.
We're still very involved. It just means that a lot of the help we need to create efficiencies and do research and do the hard work, we need help to do that so that we can keep showing up for our clients and still creating the same experience.
Yes, exactly.
But tune into that episode because you can learn more about our team. So episode 147.
It's a great one. So as we wrap this up, we just want you to remember that when you think about diversifying your income, you don't need to do everything at once. Let's say you have a list of things that you want to do that really light you up and inspire you. That's great. But prioritize that list and pick the things that are easy to do right away, right? Start small, test the waters, grow gradually. And then as those things start to work for you, you can start to add in those bigger, scarier things because you have things in the background that are working for you that you've tested, that you've done, and you can continue to build on those things and make these bigger, scarier things that bring in more revenue for you with these different streams that you've included.
Yeah. So remember, even a few hundred a month can make a really big difference and can give you the opportunity to hire someone and outsource something that's on your plate. So even these small things can make a huge difference for your business. So go ahead and write down those 2025 goals. Start diversifying your income. And please, for the love of God, don't choose all 5. Like, choose one.
Choose one. Yes.
If you like this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please go ahead and leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We absolutely love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.